Hello, my name is Walter Johnson, and this video presentation is designed to give you a brief overview of the curriculum and goals for my honors U.S. history classes this year at Arlington Catholic. First of all, I'd like to send out kudos to your sons and daughters and to you for dealing so well with the remote learning and hybrid model. So far, the school year has gone very well, and I'm impressed by how well the students have adapted. I have established three main goals or objectives for our study of U.S. history. Let me identify each of them and briefly describe how we will approach each one. The first goal is for the students to gain a greater understanding of America's past and how it relates to the present. The second is to become a better critical thinker and writer. And finally, the third is to gain a greater sense of civic responsibility. The American story is a complicated one. The founders were imperfect men of high ideals, and both the Declaration of Independence and the Constitution demonstrate that. This summer, the honors students were asked to read the prologue to Joseph Ellis's book, The American Creation. In that prologue, Ellis noted that the founders were able to establish an extensive republic that would be dedicated to promoting the ideals of liberty and equality. However, these same founders allowed for the existence of slavery. In fact, a number of them were slaveholders themselves. In addition, they neglected to deal justly with the native populations that they encountered. As a nation, we are still attempting to deal with the ramifications of these failures. In class, we will trace the history of our country partly through this lens. And as we think about what our founding ideals were, and both ways in which they have been realized over time, and ways in which, as a nation, we continue to strive to embody these values. Our second goal is for the students to become better critical thinkers and writers. We are using a sophisticated textbook this year, The Enduring Vision, which takes both a chronological and comprehensive approach to the study of U.S. history. The editors note that the text is especially effective in helping the students understand the connections between particular historical events and their impact on larger trends and developments. In addition to the textbook, we'll be exploring a number of primary source documents that students will attempt to analyze. How did the men and women, be they Black, white, Asian American, Hispanic, or Native American, of the earlier generations experience life in America? What can we learn from what they experienced? I would also like each student to focus on writing an effective historical essay. In particular, specifically learning to introduce a topic by establishing historical context and by developing and defending a clear thesis statement. Lastly, as juniors in high school, your children are approaching the age where soon they will be able to have their voice heard by exercising the right to vote. Some communities are proposing that the voting age be lowered to 16 for local elections. Last year, in my Modern World History class, we discussed this topic, and the majority of students opposed the idea, feeling that they did not know the issues well enough to make an informed decision. It is my hope that by incorporating the study of current events in class, that the students will see the importance of reading a newspaper, getting the news from reliable sources, and ultimately gaining the confidence and motivation to become actively engaged in the political process. After all, they are the future leaders of this nation. My management plan with classroom expectations and grading policies is available on Google Classroom. If you have any questions, please do not hesitate to email me at wjohnson@achs.net. I am looking forward to the time where we can all return in person every day to school. Thank you for your time, and stay safe.